All right, so buckle up because today we're doing a deep dive into an X profile.
Oh, fun.
Mm.
Whose digital footprints are we examining today?
We are looking at Emmanuel Huna, and
Yeah.
I think given your interests and my interest and our listeners' interests, this is going to be a good one.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me. What's so interesting about this Huna fellow?
So just from the 2-second glance I took to kind of prep for this, he's got experience at Tesla
Ooh,
and Rakuten.
color me interested. Okay, so we're talking some serious tech world experience here.
Yeah. So this is right up your alley, and I think our listeners are really going to enjoy this deep dive.
Okay, let's jump in.
So he describes himself kind of right off the bat as an architect and coder, which I love that combo.
I love that too. I mean, it's not that common to see both of those things together, so that's really neat.
And he says his focus is .NET Tech. And then he lists a bunch more: iOS, Android, C#, APIs, websites. So clearly he's not like a one-trick pony.
No, not at all. And what I like about this is it sounds like he's got experience on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
You know, he can build the intricate back-end systems with this .NET expertise, but then also, create what you see and touch on your phone, with those iOS and Android skills. Like, he's a digital architect who can design both the building and all the infrastructure around it.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. I like that. It's like full picture thinking.
Right.
So then this is where it gets even more interesting to me because he lists Tesla FSD Supervisor.
Oh, wow.
So now I got to know, like, what does that even mean? Was he writing code for self-driving cars?
It's certainly possible. I mean, the FSD probably refers to full self-driving, right?
Yeah.
So he was involved in that world somehow, which is like incredibly fascinating.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, super cutting edge, very relevant to what's going on. As a supervisor, do you think that means he was like in charge of a bunch of other people? Or what does that look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to say for sure just based on, this little snapshot. But he might have been leading a team of engineers, maybe making sure that all these self-driving systems were like coded to perfection, that they were safe.
Right.
Maybe he was analyzing real-world data from these cars, refining the algorithms, the brains that make these cars tick.
Ooh, that's so cool.
It's really cool. I mean, either way, it screams high-level involvement in, like we said, a field that is absolutely changing the world.
So we've got like coding architect who's also potentially, like pioneer in self-driving cars.
Right.
But then he just casually drops in there. Ex-Tesla, ex-Rakuten.
Okay.
So what's going on there?
Yeah, like what's the story here? Job hopping at the highest level.
Right.
I mean, I think it's probably more nuanced than that, though. In the tech world, especially at this level, moving between companies, it's almost expected. It's not really seen as like a negative thing.
Oh, that's really interesting.
It shows that he's adaptable. He's got a hunger to learn new things, the ability to apply skills in different contexts.
Yeah.
And Tesla and Rakuten, they're both giants in their industries, but they do have different focuses.
Yeah, that's true.
So he was probably drawn to new challenges, expanding his skill set along the way.
So, smart guy, obviously. But, after all that, he throws in this line. More than just a pretty face.
Light lag.
Okay. Come on, is that like a
Uh,
common thing to see in these types of bios?
Well, a little humor never hurts.
That's true, that's true.
But you do have to wonder, right? Like, what are the stories we choose to tell online, even in a professional setting?
Yeah.
It's like a tiny, tiny window into his personality. But I gotta say, it makes me want to know him a little bit better.
I know. Me too. So speaking of stories, his location is San Francisco.
Of course.
No shocker there. But he joined back in June 2008.
Wow.
That's got to be significant, right?
That is very significant. Okay, 2008, the iPhone was still pretty new.
Yeah.
The App Store was just a baby.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So imagine being in San Francisco then, the heart of the mobile revolution that was happening. He didn't just witness that change, he was probably coding it. He was shaping it as it was happening.
Wow, that's amazing to think about. Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
Golly.
Now, he's also included a link in his bio. It's a linktr.e. It's linktr.ee/Huna1.
Okay.
And I wonder, what we'd find there. Maybe some more clues into, what he's all about. But That's up to our listeners if they wanted to go any deeper down the rabbit hole.
And that's what I find so fascinating, right? I mean, we only scratched the surface of Emmanuel Huna's world, really. Just a few lines on a profile, some hints about his journey, and yet it opens up a universe of possibilities. It really makes you think, what story does your digital footprint tell?
That is the question, isn't it?
It really is.
And that is our show for today. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.